Welcome to the Second Briefing Podcast with Scott and Tom. We're recording from the Gunslinger Clubhouse in beautiful downtown Hillsboro.
Hey everybody, I'm Scott, and I spent 23 years on patrol at a local sheriff's office.
Hey, and I'm Tom. I spent 26 years at that same sheriff's office working with Scott.
In this podcast, we're going to be speaking with former and retired police officers about their life after police work and how they've been dealing with civilian life.
Hey, and maybe we'll have a little fun along the way. Boom, hashtag.
Okay, everybody, let's get to the podcast. Hey everybody, we have our first sponsor of the Second Briefing Podcast. Tall Fur Coffee was started by a retired police officer. Tall Fur roasts and packages their own coffee and has several blends such as Guatemalan and Sumatran. There is even cold brew if you prefer. It gets Tom and I ready for our day. I was not a coffee stop before, but now I am, and Tall Fur is the best.
Right now you go to tallfurcoffee.com and enter the code Second Briefing for 15% off your order. That's the number 2 with an ND briefing for 15% off your order. Thanks for Tall Fur Coffee for all your support.
Order yours today and support first responders.
All right, welcome back. Second Briefing, here we are. We don't know what episode this is because I can't count. So,
It's gotten so high, we don't even know where we
yeah,
are.
We're so big now. Big time. Tommy
That's
Buckmaster,
right.
three words.
Hi, I'm Scott.
Scott's over here too.
That's right.
You know me, I take over really big.
We have our guest here, but we're going to get started with our
gotta do with
Gerba Top 5.
Top 5 Gerba.
And this is the top 5 things Gerba does while boating. Number 5, picks up chicks.
Number 4, invites local news anchor onto his boat, and she said yes.
But somebody else said no.
Yes.
Number 3, he puts on a lot of sunscreen to avoid getting any redder than he already is.
Number 2, throws his, what is that? I can't read
Throws
it.
back.
Oh, throws back at tequila with his homies? Oh, throws back at tequila with his homies. I get it now.
Question mark?
Question mark?
He can't read my writing. It is
can't read
pretty bad.
sloppy.
It's worse than a doctor's.
Sloppy writing.
And the number 1 thing Gerba does while boating, if no one is around, he drives his boat Winnie the Pooh style.
We need a pool?
Winnie the Pooh.
We need the pool style.
You know, it's the whole sink the boat thing that he
Yeah.
tries to sink somebody else's boat.
Yeah.
Well, no, we'll get into that story later.
yeah,
That's a story
There's
with
a
you.
lot of Gerba stuff.
And with
Yeah.
that being said, we're welcoming our guest today, Grady
Grady.
in. Thank you for coming
Grady's
in, sir.
here.
Thank you.
We both worked with
We
Grady.
worked with
and
Grady.
So did Gerba.
Spent a lot of time with Grady.
A
Yeah.
lot of time. Yes, lots of time.
Lots of
How
time.
are
So-
you guys? Good. You guys, I love this thing. I love it.
We love it, yeah.
This is good stuff.
We
Congrats
love
on
it
the
here. We're having a
retirement.
great time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Awesome.
Retired life's
Yeah.
great, yeah.
That's a good thing.
I
You
can't-
know?
Well,
yeah,
Grady
it's
knows.
awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
Are
you
you
know,
re- yeah,
somewhat
well,
retired.
yeah, we'll get-
I mean,
Well, you're
yeah,
retired
yeah.
from police work.
Retired from
Yeah.
retired from police work, but yes.
Yeah, you were my first experience with police work, right? Back in the day,
Yes.
back
go
in
way
1996 when I became a reserve.
Yes.
Good God, that's
and
a
the
long
fact
time
that
ago.
we went to the same high school, or your wife went to the same high school.
It was,
right?
yeah, all of us.
yeah,
I
all-
forgot
my.
about that.
Was that?
Come on,
David
baby.
Douglas.
Come on, baby.
I forgot all about that.
We go
Oh,
way,
wow.
way back.
Geez.
way back, buddy. Way
Holy
back.
That's over
shit.
40 years.
That's
What year did
just a
you
few.
graduate?
89.
Oh, yeah, I graduated.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I guess
Yeah.
I'm older than you then.
Yeah.
I forgot all about
Yeah.
that.
Sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
We
35.
do go way back.
We do go way back.
Holy moly.
Good
Yeah.
God.
David Douglas, Fighting Scotsman.
There we go.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Boom.
David Douglas.
Now it's the largest school in the state. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yep. So
We had
It
two
is?
buildings
Yeah.
when we went there.
Oh.
2 buildings.
yeah.
Junior and
Oh,
senior
I went to
building.
Crescent Valley. We used to call it Sweet Valley.
Sweet Valley.
Sweet
They have
Valley
a
High.
golf course down there.
Yeah.
They do have a good
They
golf
do,
course.
they
Yeah.
do, yeah.
I forgot about that.
Good old Crescent Valley.
Jeez.
God dang, I forgot all about that.
Yeah. It's been good. I'm glad you guys are doing this, though.
Yeah,
Seriously,
well, it's
awesome.
good to have you.
We
Yeah.
talked
absolutely.
about this during when we were still working, and we
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
him and
We
Han.
decided.
and-
Yeah.
Well, it's good to get people in here talking about, just
Well,
normal
and
stuff.
it's to get.
Yeah.
Like, we haven't seen each other for how long has it been?
It's been a while.
Well,
long time.
I left, yeah. Yeah. It's
When did you
probably
leave
been-
the sheriff's office? We'll
at
have to
the
backtrack a
end
little
of
bit.
04. I
Yeah.
think
Oh,
is
it's been
when I
that
did.
long.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I didn't know it was
But,
that
I mean,
long.
that's one of the things about this, right? Is you can, even with, who we know, Dustin.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
we're
know,
gonna get
I
you on here,
didn't-
Dustin.
I did.
I was just gonna
Dustin,
text you.
Yes. I told him he needed to be on.
I already
Servant
talked to you, but
leadership.
I'll get you again.
But yeah, you can see guys, and you haven't seen them for a long time,
Yeah.
and then you pop in all of a sudden. You're
Yeah.
like, it's like yesterday.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So when did you started in law enforcement at
Portland,
and
yeah.
then how long were you there?
From 94 until 90.
And,
97.
and that was full time.
Well,
reserve?
it reserve full time. Yeah.
Yeah, you
full-
did.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
you guys had ranks back then. I remember.
So yeah,
'cause-
I ran that's how you and I met
Yeah.
again.
He was running the Reserve
I ran the
Academy
Reserve
when I went
Academy.
there. I got
as a
hired.
reserve officer.
Yeah, as a sergeant.
Okay.
there.
Because
And then we
you
would
remember Chris D.
Yep.
Okay.
Chris
Because
D.
he was there about the same time.
Yeah.
Sarge.
Yeah. Yeah. We
He
would
still
do-
goes by Sarge.
Sarge. Yeah.
Yeah.
We would do. I mean, that was different. I mean, back then.
Yeah.
You know, I ran a car out of East for I don't know 3 years, and I would I would work at the sheriff's office in corrections. I'd get off. I'd work 2 to 10. I'd get off at 10. I'd hit the midnight briefing, and then I would go from midnight to 8. I'd work graveyard at Portland.
Because you could ride by yourself in a car as a
100%.
sergeant, right?
Yeah.
I had a district.
As a reserve, yeah.
I had a district. So
That's crazy.
Yeah, so they would assign us, and you know we'd go out there.
Because
and
they
I'd
used to
work the
not let you
district.
do that. Like I know at one point they stopped people being reserves, like on patrol and
Yeah.
full time jail correction people.
Yeah.
They stopped doing that after a while. I think.
Yeah, I don't
Or
remember.
letting
I
you.
mean, it wasn't. Fortunately, it wasn't because of me, but yeah.
No.
But I mean, I would do. I mean, I had.
You saying somebody fucked up?
And it wasn't
Somebody
you
did
this time.
something
It
wrong.
wasn't
Somebody
you
made
this
a
time.
bad choice,
Yeah.
and
Oh.
it wasn't me that time.
It wasn't me.
People
that
make
time.
bad choices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I remember I would work 40 hours a week at the sheriff's office and literally 40 hours a week on patrol.
That's crazy.
But the experience that I got there. On
Oh,
patrol
yeah.
was-
With
Yeah, I
that
did-
city,
I think,
too.
I think that's what helped propel so much farther.
Yeah,
You know?
I did a
'cause-
lot of the patrol with. I worked a lot with Richard B, who was a Portland cop.
Oh,
yeah.
I know Richard B.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I should send him. He probably doesn't even know we're doing this podcast. I should.
You
send
probably
him a-
should.
Those guys.
I
you
could probably
connect
have
with.
him. Fuck, I could probably have him on here.
I think
Yeah.
you should get
Didn't
a hold
even
of
think
him.
about it.
Love
Yeah.
those guys. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I was there full time, left there as a sergeant, left corrections. I think I was only in corrections for like 18 months, which was a hell of a lot longer than I should have been. I mean, it was just they were in
Yeah.
that hiring freeze for so many, for so
Right.
many years. And then when they brought us over, that's with Chris S and all those guys. We actually were drawing straws. And so I think there was 26 of us that ended
Oh,
up getting
were
hired.
you?
I was in the
What-
first.
what year
large
was that?
group,
Yeah.
96, 97, probably. There was a large group, and of that group,
From the jail to the road.
yeah, well, it was an all mass hire.
Yeah.
so
Some from the
Chris-
outside, too.
Yeah, so
Okay.
yeah. So Chris, so when it was me and Chris were the only two that were left, and Steve G, who's went to Tennessee and.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
So it was the three of us, and then he left. When I left the sheriff's office, it was just Chris and I, because we had guys that didn't make it here. They got asked to leave and
Yeah.
so forth. So it was good. I mean, it was, and it's a great
That
time.
was quite a weed out there.
Yeah. I
26
mean,
to
well,
2.
we did that. I mean, we propelled and then I think Dustin came over within a short period of time.
He came over with
after.
me.
Yeah, and you
He-
were when?
I was 98,
Yeah.
July 98, and he came over from the jail in July 98.
Yeah, so I was
Oh,
in
okay.
FTEP. Yeah, I think I would just finish FTEP with that. But I mean, when we started, we were still in the old sheriff's office.
Yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
downstairs in the basement. I
They
think
just
you were too.
yeah. No,
And-
I was at the new one.
Oh, okay. Well,
It just moved basically.
because of one of the guys decided to bring the portable meth lab into the lower side, and they actually had to
Oh.
replace all of the inside of
That's
the,
good.
the sheriff's office.
Very good thing to do.
Yeah, it's good.
I remember hearing that though, that story.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Oh,
You're not supposed to bring meth
man.
labs into the building.
So you were in the jail for literally just 18 months,
yeah,
year and a
literally
half,
about
and
18 months.
you lateraled over to the patrol side.
Yeah, and
Now
I think
at
that
the-
was one of the first ones that actually was able to lateral. That's when
Because
Rob Gordon, or no, Spindon.
It was
I
yeah,
think
Spindon,
Spindon
was
because
here.
because Spindon hired me.
yeah,
yes.
me too.
But
He
so
was
that
the
you,
best sheriff I ever worked for.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
yeah, I only worked
Yeah.
for him for like a year and a half.
He was
probably.
awesome. He'd come out every New Year's
Yep.
or
And
New Year's
work it.
Eve night
Yep,
and work.
Yep,
He was the only
Wow.
sheriff I saw do that
yep, absolutely.
and I've had what 4 sheriffs? No, 3.
You've had four.
4?
You had 4.
Spindon, Gordon, Steele,
Oh yeah,
and then
no Steele.
no,
not,
no,
not
no,
Steele,
you mean
not Steele.
Pat.
Pat Garrett. Yeah,
And then
I forgot
Caprice.
about Garrett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, Spindon is actually his family is good friends with my good friend Rob from Corvallis, his wife's family somehow,
yeah.
and then they would tell me updates about him because he left and went over and did something with the
airport.
airlines at
Yeah.
airports or something
Some
in
airport.
Minnesota or
I wanna
like
say
a regional
Ohio, but
director.
yeah.
Yeah, I
It could be
forget.
Ohio,
I
yeah,
thought it was
somewhere in
Ohio,
the
but
Midwest.
I
or-
could be wrong. Totally
Yeah,
wrong.
But-
my biggest issue that I had was, I come from from a deep family of law enforcement. So mom, dad, stepmom, stepdad, uncle, 2 cousins,
Jeez.
grandparents.
Holy moly.
But my dad at the time was up in the chief's office at Portland. My mom was the undersheriff of Multnomah County.
Oh,
And
wow.
so when I tested for Portland, my dad was like, we're not going to talk. Nobody's going to know who you are. I mean, I'd worked so much in reserves
Right.
and had that piece. And I know that's when when Mark was here the other day, he was talking about it. I remember testing with like 2,500 people.
Oh, yeah.
At the Expo Center.
Yeah, I did that test.
Yeah, and I think when I got done, I think I was 20th or so on the list when I finished.
Yeah.
But then
Yeah, I didn't pass.
Personnel found out that
that's when I was dumb.
That I was.
I mean, I'm still dumb, but
No,
He
you're
just
not
did
dumb.
C on every
He
single
just did-
answer.
yeah.
It's got to be.
I was
one of
making
these-
surfboards on
every
mine.
third-
Yeah,
he made a little pattern.
That's what I did. I made surfboards.
Yeah, so I did. That was one of the things, and so when I was on the list, and personnel said, essentially thanks but no thanks because of my last name and who I was and so forth. And so I remember talking to Spin.
So it kind of worked against you a little bit.
Well, it worked, big time.
Okay.
I mean, yeah,
That
nepotism in at least at that time in Multnomah County and Portland. I mean, I understand, but not only that, but allowed me to go to Washington County and make a name for myself.
Right.
Or piss
Do it on your
people
own,
off.
basically.
Yeah.
Make or break it on your own.
Yeah, so it was good, But yeah, that's good. Yeah, we go way back, and yeah, I know you were reserve.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I did it for 2 years, from 96 to 98 till I got hired.
Yeah.
Because I took that same test, and then I was younger, and of course, I didn't pass, so I gave up.
Yeah.
I said, well, shit, I'm not smart enough. And then I met Chris, because we were in the Army together, and Chris says, hey, you should be a reserve.
Yeah.
So then
because you were in Milwaukee, though, right? No,
that's Cookson.
no, that's
Cookson was-
Cookson.
Cookson
Okay,
was-
I was
yeah,
trying to
Cookson
remember
was-
who that's right.
I was Washington County the whole time.
Yeah,
Okay.
but so
Yeah.
Chris talked me into applying for the reserves, and I did. I go, this is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
So then I started testing everywhere,
Yeah.
and then they switched the test
Yeah, I
from
think,
the general
I think he
knowledge
got
to
us
the,
both into
to
law
that
enforcement.
to the
Yeah.
video.
Well,
and
and
then, yeah.
he was my first connection to the sheriff's office. Chris was, in a way, because he knew
He
Tom.
called me and says, hey, can my buddy ride with you?
Yeah, and I
And
was,
I said-
I was a reserve, new
Yeah.
reserve.
Yeah, and I said, sure.
In 2000.
That's when Scott ran me over.
Okay.
Hey, well, hey,
We
we already,
gotta put the
we
car
already
in park.
told that story. It's
I got to
already,
put the car in park,
already
put it in
done, already
reverse.
done. Yeah.
I go,
All
why
right.
are we backing up on me?
Tom never makes any mistakes.
No, never. I've never seen you make any mistakes.
Buckmaster.
Weren't you my grenadier for MRT?
I still, yeah.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
A lot of MRT guys. they
still
come
was a
through here.
grenadier till the day I quit.
Yeah.
Retired.
That was the best thing, man.
I know.
So you did that as an extracurricular at the office?
I was a supervisor of it. Well,
Yeah.
Oh,
long,
well-
long story short,
Yeah.
the way it was run, we didn't feel was as good as it could have been.
Yeah, it's
Sure.
it's still that way.
No.
They had
But we
that,
had-
they had
but
that
we
guy.
changed.
But
They had
we-
the guy Mike
We had the
J.
best. We had it the
was
best
it Mike
we could.
J the one that ran it? The Beaverton?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, but
do some
nobody,
push-ups.
but nobody ran it from the sheriff's office side.
Oh,
And
okay.
we had one, but yeah, I was able to jump on that and just like, hey, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do the testing. We're gonna run a tight ship. We also wanted to bring on corrections to be able to help because they had their jail response team, and why send our guys in? Let them go tackle the guys that they're used to.
Yeah.
And then we went down to Portland and we flat out kicked ass.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
It was
Full
fun.
hats and
I like
bats.
I said.
Well, I mean, yeah, we could throw flashbangs, we could throw stun grenades, we could throw everything, and
Right.
and it wasn't, we came down there to achieve the final results that needed to be done, not necessarily be the friendly souls.
This is long before Trump, though.
Long before Trump.
Oh,
This is back in
yeah.
the Bush era.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
This is when
22,
what was
this
it?
is-
Mass. What was it called? Mass. The bicycle dudes.
Oh yeah.
What was it called? Mass something.
Yeah.
Critical mass. Was that what it is?
Critical mass.
Critical
yeah.
mass.
Oh.
And indie media
Those
would
were
follow us.
That was
around.
protester
before
people,
the-
right?
What they're called now.
Yeah.
You mean anarchists?
Yeah. There
Yeah.
was the old.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we had a good time. I mean, we were very successful for sure. We were very successful.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's breaking into a car out here in
Yep.
Hillsboro.
That's all right.
Oh, wow. That's okay. Maybe the police will respond. We're not.
It might be my Dodge. Or I don't have a Dodge. I'm sorry.
Oh, Gerba has a Dodge, so
Yeah.
Gerba.
Hashtag
Not-
kill Gerba.
Ram tough. So you got promoted. Did you do corporal first too?
I did
think.
corporal.
Okay,
yeah,
so
I
what?
did corporal.
What year did you do that? Or get promoted, I
Jesus,
should
you guys
say.
are testing me. 99 maybe.
Because I was
98.
gonna say I thought you were a corporal when I got there because
you
I
were there in
was hired in
98.
01.
So I was fortunate. I mean, through attrition, and I think the experience that I got at Portland helped me to kind of propel to. I mean, I just
Getting promoted.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
Portland
I mean,
was a totally different animal.
It was. I mean, you just
county.
like you're, it was full immersion, right? And
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I think that helped me. So I think I corporaled in '98.
Okay.
And then sergeant in '01, but I was almost 2 years out of class as a corporal into a sergeant. So, I ran corporal for, I don't know, probably another 18 months or
Like
so.
when I
Yeah.
came from being a reserve in Portland, we were fighting all the time.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then I come out the county thinking the exact same thing, and nobody was really fighting you in county.
No.
I mean, you get a fight once in a while, but really not like in Portland.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Oh,
constant
yeah.
fighting in Portland.
It, just even like talking to people and just the demeanors and how, just the interactions and
Yeah,
the call
it's
load.
totally
crazy.
different. It's
Yeah.
night and day different once you cross that.
Oh, absolutely.
Get through the tunnel. It's
Yeah.
totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Different
didn't
animal.
even do that.
Agreed.
So, I mean, yeah, because I corporaled in, so I deputied in, I went to TriMet. I was there for a while.
Oh yeah.
Came back and then got corporal and then went back again and then
To
worked
TriMet as
to
a corporal?
TriMet as a corporal.
So they wouldn't do that
No.
after a while.
No,
They
no,
stopped
there's
it.
no
Once you got
corporals
promoted,
there.
you stayed on patrol.
Yeah. So and
Until
we,
later.
we didn't do. I mean, most of our stuff at TriMet it was all East Side, and so I was so familiar working East Precinct that I went out there and hooked in with the guys at Gresham, and my cousin was out there at Gresham, and so I worked East Side the entire time, and born and raised on the East Side. It was easy for me, so we worked
Yeah.
street crimes the whole way.
Yeah.
So yeah, I was
So you
there
did that. So
twice.
when did you get promoted to sergeant?
Well, I
said 01
out of
-ish?
class was '01 to like '03.
When you say out of class,
so
what do you
because
mean?
the out
Did
of
you
class
do a temp sergeant? Is that
Well,
what you
yeah,
mean?
they had a spot and they didn't have a position to be filled because they had that's back when like Marlene was here. We had
Oh yeah.
we had all those admins, and
Yeah.
so they needed one on the road, and so that's what
They had a lot of
moved me
people that
to.
couldn't work the road
Yeah, yeah.
for some reason.
Oh yeah.
We used to.
I
I remember that. Yeah.
We used to honor that, yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean they'd been
They
there
didn't
for
know
a
what
long
to do.
time, and so they needed somebody at
But you had to actually be on patrol.
So,
But
yeah.
the-
So I
so-
came back.
so was
I
it-
came back.
It was
out
the
of
temp
class.
sergeant position. You weren't fully promoted, but you weren't a corporal. You had 3 stripes, right?
Correct. I had 3
Okay.
stripes. Yeah, because I remember a particular.
Because they did that
swing-
occasionally over the years.
Yeah,
the
I
temp
had a
sergeant
swing
thing.
shift sergeant and I who, yeah, he disliked.
Weren't those
me.
like a lot of like there were detective sergeants that had to come back to the road and haven't worked the road in so long
Yeah.
that they didn't really.
Yeah, and I had the option. I could
And
either
then they
go.
realized and they put him back up there?
No, they just
Oh.
left him in the
No,
office.
They just left him. I mean, I had the option
Oh.
to fork, and I could either go to detectives, so there was this position open, or I'd stay road, and there's no way I was going to detectives.
Right.
So yeah, so I came back and I came back as a sergeant out of class, so I had I had the pay and all of that, but it was they were always Velcro, and I was reminded that by a couple of sergeants in particular. And,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
and then I think '01 was when I got the official promotion, and
Okay, so
yeah.
then you were a sergeant when I got hired. Then probably
I think so.
pretty
Yeah,
close.
pretty close to.
Because I got July of '01, 3 years almost to the day after you.
Yeah, I think
Because
that's when it
I think
was.
J-Ro was in that class too, right, Jerry?
Yeah.
With me? Oh yeah.
With
Jerry.
you.
Yeah.
With
You were a
your-
little-
because
Yeah,
yeah,
Jerry,
right with me.
because Jerry
Yeah.
and I used to have because we were out of East, so
Yeah.
we'd have
Yeah.
lunch pretty much every day
Yeah.
or so forth. I
He,
mean,
Yeah.
pretty
he's
regularly.
he's coming on next month.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, I know.
Jerry's hired with me. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had
What-
50, I
what
think
a-
there was 15 people hired with us.
Such
Me.
a nice guy.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, he
super
is. Yeah.
genuine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, so did that. I mean, so I did H&T. Was on.
Which is
Were
what?
you the supervisor for that too?
No,
No?
I was but I was a sergeant on it, and a corporal. So hostage negotiations.
Right. I mean, I know what it is, but some people don't.
I
Yeah.
forget. Yeah.
Back to the layman's.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Non-coppers.
For the
hostage
civilians.
negotiator. I was that for 5 years,
Yeah.
and then I left. I left in late 2004. Yeah, I
It isn't-
retired the first time. Yeah.
Okay. So what did you do when you left?
So I started a boat dealership. I mean, at the time I was driving water ski and wakeboard boats for pretty much
Because you're
most of the
active
industry.
water skier,
Yeah,
water
I was-
skier,
yeah, I was water
wakeboarding, and all that
skiing,
stuff,
Prior
right?
to, I mean, I tore my tricep off when I was before I became law enforcement. But yeah, I was
Were you trying to touch the elevator?
tied. Yeah, I was tied in.
I tried that once. I ate water. Didn't work very well.
Mine was terrible. Mine was bad. But
You could lean
I've
so far, and then I was like, I'm done.
I've always been involved in that piece, and so I was
Yeah.
driving for tournaments and so forth,
Cool.
and then had an opportunity and jumped on and started ran a boat dealership. Unfortunately, in '04, and then took the ride from '04 to about '07. because the economy then took that huge tank.
Oh,
We
yeah,
were
yeah.
losing houses and losing toy haulers and so forth.
Right, right.
Yeah.
And so I left that and then got back in with a smaller agency in Marion County.
All right.
So
And how long were you there?
about 9.5 years, I would
It started
say.
with an H, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, fortunately I was able to attach onto some of the guys in Woodburn and those guys treated me really well. Got involved in, I was with the tactical support unit. So, so I moved it from a negotiation standpoint, negotiator to a tactical person. So I was on their, our SWAT
Basically
team.
a SWAT. Oh, cool. Like interagency SWAT?
Yeah, it was
like what we had here, yeah.
Yep, interagency SWAT. And so,
Do you think you would have done that at Washington County or?
I think there were
We're all smiling.
You could just say yes or no. I could see gears grinding.
So I don't have a filter anymore. I don't give a shit. So what I will say is I don't think my personality at the time would have blended well with
That's
that
fair.
group.
And looking back on it, this is not going to, I would agree because mine wouldn't have been either.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have either.
Yeah.
I would have butted heads with too many people.
I would have, I don't deal with, we all put our pants on the same way. And, just because
there was
part
a
of
lot
a God squad doesn't mean that you're any specialer than anybody
Right.
else. So to answer that question, no. H&T for me, look, it provided me the opportunity to be able to, continue my, skills and be able to communicate with people. And so it helped out. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good. And then, so you were there for 9 more years?
I was there for about 9.5 years.
9.5. And did you promote or do anything there?
No,
Special? Okay.
no.
Just
I was in a smaller
line officer?
Yeah,
okay.
it was a smaller agency, but
was it a city department?
Yeah, it was city department. And so I got tied in with, the guys at Woodburn treated me so well.
That's a much bigger agency.
They accepted me.
Size.
And so, I didn't kind of just,
Did you ever think about
it's good.
lateraling over there? Or?
So, there was some chat. There was also some chat as just to kind of, what that agency, what our agency at the time would become. But to be honest with you, when I got into it, I had talked to people at the sheriff's office, and it was when you guys were going through some rough times in that 08-ish, 07, 08. And it's I don't know if I want to dip my toe back in that piece, at the time. So we have a hers, mine, and ours, but my daughter didn't see a lot of me because I was 40 hours a week in corrections and 40 hours a week in law enforcement, literally 70 to 80 hours a week. And so at the time we had our son. And so it allowed me the opportunity to be able to coach his lacrosse programs and run the lacrosse programs. And I was coaching soccer and basketball. And so it allowed me to kind of do some of those things. So I really didn't want to go back and jump into anything crazy. And for that, it allowed me the opportunity to just kind of do my own thing. And I could dip my toe into what some of the other agencies were doing.
Right.
And being on I was on the major crime team. I was on SWAT. So it allowed me to get a lot of
were you a
training.
detective?
No,
or
just a street guy.
But you were on a major cane. Okay.
Right, yeah, so I was on major crime. Because I would write, the experience that you get at these larger agencies, I was able to write. I was writing search warrants that
you have a lot more than the small departments have, right?
Yeah.
They're
the background. Yeah.
And then I was teaching the academy. I was doing building clearances and some of that stuff as well. So
at the state academy.
Yeah, at the state academy.
The old one or the new one or both?
The new one.
Okay.
Yeah. So I was there doing building clearances and so forth. And so it allowed me a lot of those opportunities to kind of explore. And I just was kind of left alone. I kind of
that's nice.
Yeah. Which you don't get a lot. They toy with me occasionally.
Sure.
But that's just because it's that's not how we do things. That's just not, the training should be training because even if you're a small agency, you're still going to people still roll through our cities, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
At some point.
Yeah.
And so it was, it was good. They allowed me the opportunity to pretty much do what I wanted to do. And the other surrounding agencies allowed me to be able to dabble in their stuff. And it was a good mix. And then
That's cool.
And then I had the home life, which was good as well.
Yeah.
So that's important.
So it's probably a little, not always slower pace, but since it's a smaller city, probably not as crazy as.
No, it was not as crazy. No.
Yeah.
So, I got bored a lot, but you're writing search warrants, you're kicking rocks, and we would do a lot,
Taking abandoned vehicles like Gerba.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a police matter.
Why isn't he called here? Yeah, not a police
I don't know.
I truly believe, I think we'll have to double check with him, but I'm pretty sure I might be one of the reasons that he's still at the sheriff's office because I think I was his FTO.
So it's your fault. You didn't
I
kick him out.
might be a contributing factor. And speaking of which,
you actually kept him on, is what you're saying?
I don't think I kept him on. I think we had some come to Jesus talks.
Oh,
Um,
that's fair.
Yeah, I would say that.
Yeah.
You always have to kind of. I always call it like bump. I mean, FTO. You've known this. You had. I don't know how many you
a
had.
lot. 16 years.
Yeah. I mean, I did it for quite a few, and even at the smaller agency, I did one. I helped a kid and trained him, and he's now a captain at Linton County. But I kind of call it bumper
Nice.
bowling, right? You kind of just
Yeah.
keep them out of the gutters, and then you got to keep them back here. And as long as you keep them on the track,
Yeah.
some are back and forth, and some are pretty
Yeah.
straight.
Yeah.
That's the piece.
Keep it pointing the right way.
Speaking of bumper bowling,
Oh, yeah.
Are you gonna tell the Gerba story or a different story? Wait.
I want to talk about Drew.
We're going to talk about Drew.
Oh, yeah.
It's that
I
segment
wanna
we like
know-
to talk about. It's called Drew. Let's talk about Drew.
I want to know why Drew didn't bring this up. So it sounds like he had problems with
Can you guys see that pretty good?
motorcycles.
Is that good, Robbie?
Motorcycles and cars.
There's another page as well.
There's
So,
another
yeah.
page? Let's
Yeah,
see what
that'll
this
actually
one-
show the other end of it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that was a supervisor moment.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So he can't even. I was just laughing because he was talking about, oh, I fell over my
These are
motorcycle.
great photos that you've saved over the years.
Those are.
I even remember those car numbers.
I
Yes.
had to spend,
That's hilarious.
Yes, I actually had to spend some time looking for these.
Oh.
But
Well,
yeah.
thank you for bringing those on.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one for that.
Oh.
Yeah.
But, that was
How
a
did that? So
supervisor
how did that happen?
He accidentally wasn't paying attention, driving and looking at something else, and
It's over the S curves right over here,
Well,
right?
his-
Glencoe?
His giant,
Wasn't it?
his giant meat hooks were trying to operate the
Bananas?
MDT,
I think it was-
and he hit with his thumb. He hit the steering wheel.
Yeah, hit the
That's
steering
yeah,
wheel.
yeah.
Those
I'm
are
pretty
those
sure
what the
that's what
old
it was.
MDTs, the little teeny ones, or were they
No,
the bigger
those-
ones that
those
smash your
were-
hands?
The
yes,
The ones
yeah,
that you
yeah,
I had to buy the
had to
C
tighten-
clamps.
Yep,
I had to
had
buy my
tighten
own
them
C
up.
clamps to hold them up.
Yes,
Because they wouldn't stay up on
I
their
remember
own.
that. Yeah.
they would slam down and
Yeah.
slam down on you.
Remember,
what happened?
remember Rocky? He had to quit work because his hand got smashed. Remember
That's
that
it.
one?
That's who I got hired with.
Yeah,
So
Rocky.
he was one of these guys too. So,
Yeah.
Oh my! Yeah, I
But,
never
yeah.
met that guy.
yeah.
I've heard
He,
stories.
Yeah, there's lots of stories.
Yeah.
Lots of them. But so I laughed because he couldn't keep patrol cars on 4 tires either.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Knocking over motorcycles.
Yeah, he had a lot of troubles with vehicles.
He
Pushing
did.
people into lockers.
Yeah.
Meat.
Meat
Yeah.
master.
Yeah. And and then Gerba.
Meat wizard.
Jesus.
Well,
Talk
so
about that.
so I was talking to Gerba on the phone, knowing that you were coming on.
Yeah.
He calls me this afternoon or this morning, I guess. And he says, tell him, hey, there's a story about when I was out boating on the river.
Of course, it's a boat.
And then at the dock, you guys were all docked. You loaded your boats back and
And this jackass comes in at like 30 some miles an hour.
but it was on the boat and he did something to your boat. What was that story?
Well,
While you were on it.
Well, he swamped my boat.
Yeah,
was the
with
biggest
a
thing.
wake.
With a wake.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like in the no wake zone, not paying attention, not doing anything, coming in there. I don't know if he was looking at himself in the mirror. I don't know if he was like looking at people that were on
He
there.
was just wearing his T-shirt and that was it.
That was it.
And he didn't want to stand
T-shirt,
up to
just
see what was
not
going
at
on.
all. And
Yeah.
he's just short over that steering wheel.
Yeah.
But comes in at hot and trotting and ends up swamping the whole boat. And I'm a little meticulous about that kind of stuff.
Sure.
And I might have taken me a minute to realize who it was, and given the company and so forth. I think we had a few words.
Well, because he said he didn't. The way he remembers is he did it. He doesn't remember like actually getting water in your boat because
Yeah.
he was turning and going the other way or
Yeah,
something like
yeah.
that. So maybe he didn't know that at the time, or maybe he did. I don't know,
Yeah.
but I don't know that he knew it was you.
Yeah, he didn't know it was me, and then I think it was the oh shit, how's this going to turn?
Because he
out?
says that someone was coming up to him in the parking lot on the boat ramp. Is that fucking Gerba? What the hell, man? You gotta learn how to drive.
I'm trying to play it down for him. Yeah. You had your head up your ass, buddy. That's what it
Gerba.
was.
Well, the little Russian in his pocket was
Yeah,
acting up
exactly.
again, and so that's what
That should have
happened.
been. He should have been helping him out.
It tempted me because I was.
Well,
I
he
worked.
should. The little Russian should have been flagging for him or something.
I know.
It's funny too because he was in my area in North Marion County, and I so tempting on so many occasions. To
Oh,
go, to
yeah,
go
'cause where he was
screw with
living.
him
Yeah,
when
yeah.
he was living in that area, and
Yeah.
I was so tempted. So
You
tempted.
should have, though.
I gave him enough
It's
shit. when he
Mikhail,
was here.
though.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's been It's been great. I mean,
Well, there's another story I want to talk about. You're a famous guy, right? You were on a TV show back in the day, right?
Oh yeah,
Young something or
why are you
other.
did you just dig
Young
it?
Turks?
I didn't see the.
I forgot all about it until just
Young
like
cops on the
couple
beat.
minutes ago.
I didn't
I got
see the closet open and all the
there's
skeletons.
an
start to
old
fall.
TV
oh
show
yeah, because there
about-
was a Beaverton guy.
Oh yes,
Travis.
Beefcake.
Beefcake. Oh, dude,
You're
yeah.
on that.
And then was it Willie H?
Yeah.
And you're old.
No, it wasn't him. It was started with a G. Beaverton guy, also a Beaverton guy, right?
Well, it's a female.
It's-
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Was it your-
oh
Right?
yeah.
I didn't wanna say
No,
it 'cause-
it wasn't Willie because Willie and I were involved in a ton of stuff at Portland, but no.
Yeah, he
Was
lives.
it
Well,
the-
he lives down the street from me now.
Who does he?
Willie does,
Willie
yeah.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need to get him on.
Yeah,
here.
we need him on
Oh
here,
my
too.
God! Talk about
Stories,
I
man.
went to a comedy show, unfortunately, when he was there at some point, and
Yeah.
they pushed me to sit in the front row, and it was a roast the Grady show. It was like
Oh,
he's
no.
telling stories like we were involved in a shooting, driving down Burnside, being shot at, like just the stories that he continued to tell, and just
Yeah.
I love him.
No, well, he
I love
actually performed at one of our
Yeah,
union parties once.
Association
Oh, that's
parties
awesome.
back in the
Yeah,
day.
Yeah.
quite a while ago.
Yeah.
Early
But
on.
yeah, Young Cops.
Young
Holy
Cops.
geez.
There
mother
it is.
Tell us this
goodness.
story.
You can
yeah.
probably see that on YouTube.
So it was-
Young
it was-
Cops.
it was-
Oh my God.
You'll see a
it
nice
was
young Grady.
The G from Beaverton,
Yeah.
the T from Beaverton, you.
Yeah.
Who else?
I was on it for a very short time.
Wasn't it your girlfriend
It
on there?
was, yeah.
Yeah. She was a reserve too, right? With us?
She was
at the time?
Yes.
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 And then she got hired at
Then she
G.
got hired at Gresham.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can't say it, can you?
I know, and there may be some legalese that we don't talk about each other, but
You'll see her.
Oh,
If
okay.
you just watch the show on YouTube.
Yeah. It's
Young
on YouTube.
Cops.
I gotta write
um,
that down. Young cop.
Young Cops.
It was so they took Cops, and they decided, and what was a Real World.
It's the first, it was like the
Yes,
first,
that's what I heard.
it was like
the
Real
story
World,
that
but with
you
the
guys
cops.
lived in a
Real World
place,
Cops,
right?
yeah.
but it was back in like 97.
My. Well, we
96?
were all cops. No, we were probably 97.
Oh, yeah, it was
98.
it was
We were
like
all
it was
cops.
after that, yeah.
Yeah, because it was
Yeah, it was because when I was a
Tony-
cop.
Yeah, it was Tony from Gresham.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
this
The
other
two Beaverton guys.
So it was
right?
probably
two
98,
Greshams.
99.
Yeah, and then there was another.
I don't know why they
Gresham.
didn't pick me.
But you were
So,
Portland or you were
I was at the
County.
sheriff's
It was at county.
office. I
Okay.
was
Yeah.
county.
so
and
there's a weird aside. Did you have to get permission to go on the
well,
show?
so
How did that
the
work?
issue is that I had enough thought that this isn't going to turn out well because of how they would have it. And it was Mark
Okay.
Stoyanovich.
You got the swerve on.
It was
The
Stoyanovich.
same guy
who
that did
Cops.
the cop
Yeah.
show.
And so being at a couple of his parties up in Skyline and stuff when he was alive, and it was
Oh, that's
you
right.
can already tell that it was like this has got IA written all over.
Because
it.
they go to the bar. I remember watching. They
would-
go to the bars
they-
every night.
They'd
Getting this,
shut the bars down.
getting
They'd
their
go in
swerve on.
VIP area. They would. I mean, it was.
it's like the Jersey Shore, but with cops.
It literally was.
So they paved the way to go into these things
Oh.
for you guys.
Oh,
and
yeah.
you guys were in there, and it's like
Yeah,
filming
they're-
in
and
the
they
bar.
rented out a house in
Yeah, they all lived in the
Northeast
same house.
Portland.
Right,
It was
yeah,
like
yeah.
a big old. Like
I
a
heard
White
about
House.
that. Yeah.
And then they started to they could understand the dynamics of some, and so then they interjected a couple additional officers that were flirtatious, and at that point I think I was like, I mean I come from such a long family of law enforcement that it was
Right.
like this isn't going to go well, it's not going to
No.
play well on TV. And as it turned out, it didn't play well.
no, it didn't
And
last very long.
a lot of
So
those
did it actually air on
individuals-
regular
Yeah, it did.
broadcast
Yeah,
TV?
It was
Yeah.
on TV.
Was
yeah.
it like ABC, NBC, one of those types of channels, or
It
was it a cable
was like,
channel?
No, it was like cable.
It was like cable channel because
Yeah.
it wasn't. I can't remember what it was.
Because cops used to be on Fox, I think. a
Yeah,
long
it
time
was
ago.
some. I mean, they ran a couple
original
of them,
Cops.
and it didn't. Yeah, we got to figure it out. But
No one liked it.
Hey, Robbie, could you look that up? See what channel that came on? Maybe.
Yeah, it's Young
On your phone,
Cops.
Young Cops.
Just go Young Cops Portland. But it did not turn out well. It didn't turn out well for a lot of the cops that were there. One of the Beaverton guys got, they started questioning he got pulled off and was stuck in IA for a while. And
Wasn't that Beefcake?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And I'd heard stories.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it all stemmed from there. I mean,
I'm
it
not gonna
literally-
say more
No.
now.
Yeah,
I'll
no.
tell you
But I
more
mean, and so
offline,
it was
but-
just listen. At the end of the day, what you do is you take a bunch of officers.
When they're in
you take them
20s,
young, very young.
mid-twenties,
Oh, yeah,
right?
Very
mid
young.
twenties.
Yeah.
You introduce alcohol, you introduce this, this media
Like
where
this
you go everywhere.
real world type of
That's
deal
exactly
where
what
they
it was.
expect
They
almost
paid for
like
everything. They let you go do all this stuff, and it got. So
Almost like
I was short lived. It was
Yeah.
very short lived.
so they actually broadcast 1 or 2 episodes.
I
you
think,
think?
Well,
I think there's a
Portland,
couple.
Portland was the pilot. It was the pilot version of it, and
Okay.
a couple of them
Were they
did.
thinking about spreading it to other
it was
major
gonna go.
cities?
It was they had already kind of been in contract because what they were doing at the time,
Right.
Portland was still doing cops.
Right.
So they were using the
With
same
old
photographers
Sheriff
and the
Teeth.
same, the same, exactly.
Johnny B.
Johnny B. They were using the same photographers and the same videographers and stuff
Okay.
for those.
Right.
And so they would just use them. And I think that, at the time, the Gresham, Beaverton, I was really surprised did it. I was surprised that they allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
Because wasn't
Yes.
the tall guy was there?
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was there
They
forever.
also had,
Yeah.
what's her name? She was there too.
Yeah.
And so,
Man, I gotta heard some of these names when we're done.
yeah.
I'm kind of excited.
Well, the chief
now.
was what's his name, who's been there forever. And
Well,
I'm
he's
surprised
gone
he'd say
now.
it. Yeah, but he's gone now. But I'm surprised
He was there a
let it
long
happen.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
because
problem.
he doesn't seem like he'd be the guy that
No,
would allow
he
that to
seems
happen. From my knowledge of him.
Yeah, I mean, it was just, it was, and I had kind of a mentor at the sheriff's office that was like, hey, keep doing this, you'll, do the right things, make the right decisions, but like anything else, right? A bad cop makes some stupid arrest in, Podunk County, middle of the West, and all cops are bad. And so it was one of those things where, if you kind of tie yourself to that,
Yeah.
I mean, good for them. They made some money. They had a great time. It just wasn't for me.
No.
So how long were you involved in
Just about,
one episode
well,
essentially, or
because of who I was dating at the time, I was involved in it until the production ended. Yeah.
oh,
So
because you would visit?
I'd visit or was involved one way or the
Okay.
other, and then I'd
But
stay
were you
off camera. And
To clarify, just for were you an
I was
original
not a
cast
prime,
member?
I was not a prime cast member.
You
I
were
was
a secondary type
yeah.
person.
Yeah, that
that
was-
because of the
Co-star?
other.
Yeah,
The,
She's a
the
co-star.
person you were dating.
correct.
She
Got
was
you.
a-
Yeah.
She was a primary.
She was a star. He's just a co-star.
Yeah, I was a co-star.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
hey, you're still a co-star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
You got a
Yeah,
credit.
you're famous.
credit. Yeah.
Did you have to
Yeah.
join the Screen Actors Guild?
No, I did
IMDb.
not. I'm not on IMDb.
You should be.
I was able to scrape all of that stuff
Oh.
completely. So,
Oh,
yeah,
you
yeah.
were on IMDb
were.
then.
I'm just saying.
But
I
you
was able
scraped
to,
it
I was
off,
able
huh?
to scrape
Nice.
a lot
Oh,
of that.
just went right in.
Just take all that stuff out. Yeah, which is it's like I said, it's got some of these memories. Holy crap!
I bet that would be just
You didn't think I
weird.
was going to bring that up?
No,
did you?
you
knew I was.
Well, I didn't know you. Honestly, that wasn't even in my like. Okay,
You probably forgot about it. Right?
I tried to purge myself of that
Oh, yeah.
at one time.
Yeah.
I dig some deep.
And we
but-
just gave him more PTSD.
Yeah,
Way to
Yeah.
go.
There's a lot of it for sure.
we can call a counselor.
That's a good
real quick. We can call somebody.
We need a counselor on speed dial.
That's right.
Yeah,
Well, that's crazy. I
counselors
couldn't
make a lot
imagine
of money.
because I had heard about that. And I didn't know it was like 97, 98. I thought it was closer when I got hired, like maybe 99, 2000. But see, because people were talking
could have
about that
been.
because the Beaverton guys,
It could have been.
because I
don't
ran
know.
into them a
mean,
few times because I was always working that 3 area
Yeah.
when I was new. I worked that area for most of my career.
Yeah,
And
I'm
so,
trying to remember. I mean, a lot of that stuff just becomes kind of a blur.
Yeah.
Right, as far as it, but I
'Cause-
mean, it was a big deal. Like, I mean, there was. I mean, there was production on it all the time, and
that's
then
crazy.
They try to come
Is
out
it,
on the road and do stuff.
and it just didn't take, people didn't like it, or was it just no good ratings, or
I
what do you think?
I think that, and I'm not speaking for the production, but I think that some of the sampling that they had done didn't hold well with cops.
Oh,
and
because
it
they
was-
probably edited things a certain way, and it probably looked.
It was just
different than it probably
they were
was.
trying to edit like the real world.
Yeah.
I mean, truly how they were.
It looked just
trying
like
And it
that,
was-
but with cops with guns.
cops.
Dude,
You know,
I've-
with guns.
I've got to look that up when I go home.
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
I mean,
crazy.
it,
Partying.
Yeah.
They go out every night and party.
it was.
That's
I mean,
what it was.
Always, at
You know, it shows
some-
them getting ready.
Yeah.
You know, putting their get their swerve on, get
Getting
their
your hair.
juice on.
Well,
yeah,
Yeah,
my
good
hair.
living
yeah,
in their
your hair.
house.
You got your hair
High
ready.
school rag,
Yeah.
exactly. But
Oh my
yeah,
gosh, that's
yeah,
crazy.
That was, that's a lot of It was. You question it. Some of it, like nowadays, people are like,
It wouldn't fly now.
No, there's no. Are you kidding me?
No
Like the
department would say
liability,
yes.
there's no way that they would do that.
No.
In fact, half of them wouldn't even allow cops to come back into production.
No.
Well, they had that other show on now that used to be, was it Live PD, and then they canceled it because of the the COVID and the things that happened in the Midwest
Yeah.
and Minnesota and
Yeah.
Minneapolis, and
Yeah.
then they brought it back, and it's called On Patrol Live
On
now.
Patrol Live, yeah.
And it's the same thing. Actually, I think that's better than Cops a little ways because it's live, but they're going to different places all the time, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing is this. I mean, at the end of the day, they're just trying to
Show
put a
that,
light on what law enforcement is.
yeah,
you know,
and a
and
little
it's-
more humanizing
Yeah.
to some degree.
Because if you watch
which is
the
good.
TV, I give my wife a hard time now about it because she watches a particular cop show, and I'm like, look, I've been involved in quite a few critical incidents in my life, and we don't go back to work the next day,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
We used to long time ago.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
put some
Yeah.
dust on it, put some dirt on it, and
You talk about the rookie?
yeah.
Yeah.
I shot 7 guys today. She got
Exactly.
buried in the ground.
Oh my God.
She's back to work
And then
tomorrow.
she's back to work tomorrow.
Yeah, so I laugh at
I
that.
got attacked at
because,
my
You
house.
know what? Take the afternoon off. You were
Exactly.
buried
Yes.
alive. It's not a
Hey,
big deal.
Can you
Yeah.
go plain clothes today,
Yeah.
brand new guy?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. I mean, no, and that's why I say. I mean, it's those
Well,
types of programs are good because at
yeah.
least you kind of get some general idea.
Yeah, and they're not doing anything. They're doing their job as a normal job.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah, the other one that I can't imagine. I think it would be fun if you were allowed to do stuff, but
Yeah.
just the problem is you get the departments hold you to a higher standard, and then they show you doing all this crazy stuff on the outside, and that
yeah.
doesn't look good
Well, and
necessarily.
it's also real time, right? I mean,
Right.
real, like they put it on the shelf, and then in the event that anything bad happens, then they pull it off the shelf, and they're like, "Well, wait a minute, what about this? What about that?" And
Yeah.
so it just didn't paint a good light.
Yeah.
It was like oil and water, and it would separate, and they were trying to intermix it.
Cool idea, but
Yeah.
it just doesn't. It doesn't translate well because you could do something goofy on there. Like if you go to court, they go, "Well, we saw you on TV."
It'd be
doing
better
this."
it'd be better for like a fireman show.
Yes, yeah,
Not for
truly.
co- it would be.
Yeah,
Well,
it would
for
be.
our
be.
future guest Jake,
Yeah.
because he's a
Yeah.
beefcake
Yeah.
too.
Yeah,
so
beefcake shows because that's all they do is work out.
Yeah,
Right.
for sure.
yeah,
And then cook.
They get the
and
pretty
then,
muscles.
Go to first aid
they
aid
get
stuff.
they get the pretty muscles.
They got the pretty muscles.
play some
I mean,
Xbox.
everybody always asks me, they're like, "Yeah, I want to be a police officer." I'm like, "Go be a fireman."
Yeah, go be a fireman.
Yeah.
Go be a fireman. You work half the time. Don't get me wrong, we love our firemen, but
No, we do. Yeah.
I wish I would have been a fireman.
Yeah,
I got a
mean,
fire helmet right there. I like to put that on.
Oh yeah, fire helmet.
That's what I got that. My son Hunter bought that for me
Oh,
for Christmas
man.
one year. I think all the kids bought it for me together.
all chipped in.
All chipped in, found it out in Venonia at a,
Oh,
what do you call those places? Antique store.
oh,
Jeez.
Because
Wow.
it's old.
it's antique.
It's antique.
Uh,
I like to walk around with it
Yeah,
naked.
be a fireman. Don't be a
Naked.
cop. Don't be a cop.
Just me in a helmet. Me in a fire helmet.
so
Oh my god.
so that thing didn't pan out, and
So
then
that
you had
did
some.
not.
There was a lot of other issues going on with that, but so you worked in Marion County for a little while,
Yep.
and then you got out. What did you do? So how many years total in law enforcement do you think you had?
20. We just looked it up. 20. Just over, just short of 22. That's what
Okay.
I did. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
So
a
I
good
was tier
solid
one,
career.
and
That's
yeah,
good.
Yeah, yeah. It was a good solid career. I mean,
Yeah.
you know.
Well, in tier 1, that's even better.
Yeah, tier
Yeah.
one's even
Yeah,
better.
makes it
Better than
good.
mine.
So,
Ours.
Tier 2,
We're
right?
tier 2, yeah.
What-
Now
so
the
I had-
kids that are higher are like
He was
"Good."
what, 27,
27.
and I was 23.
Okay.
But I was able because of being 55,
yeah.
and that's why I could go.
Yeah.
a
See,
little
and
early.
when I retired, my sole intent was to I won't touch it. I mean, I won't touch it until I absolutely really want to. But
Yeah.
I mean, for what I do now, I just enjoy it. So makes
Yeah.
it easier.
So now what are you doing?
So in 2017, I retired and started law enforcement or started real estate. And
Okay.
so and I probably should have started it many, many years before. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's what I hear.
yeah, it was it worked out well. I was very blessed, very fortunate, and I've been doing it ever since. You know, the nice thing is you kind of set your own schedule,
Yeah.
and it translates a lot into the law enforcement side. People come as like, what makes that? My biggest thing is you're not getting shot at, and if you are, that's okay. We can shoot back, but you're talking to people through critical situations like the highest debt they're ever going to have, the biggest asset they're ever going
Right.
to have, what areas, what safety, safe cities, safe areas, looking
Right.
for their kids. It does, you have tons of legal forms.
Mhm.
So you're writing search warrants, you're reading that stuff, and so you've got to follow some rules.
Right.
And it was an easy transition. And then being able to talk to people.
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
so,
helpful. Yeah.
that, a lot of people don't do that.
Yeah.
And so I've been doing that
Well, you're
ever
a personable
since.
guy. You get along with people, and you can.
Usually,
You're
yeah.
well. You got some energy. You're good at talking, and
Yeah.
So that's helpful.
Yeah.
So
so I've been doing. Yeah, that's a nice way to say
You're
it.
good at talking.
Good at talking.
Thanks,
good at
Scott.
talking.
You're
You
good
gotta
at
talk.
talking.
If
Some
you
people
want to
say I
sell
talk
stuff,
too
you got to
much.
talk.
Yeah.
You got to talk. You're right.
Well, you're a seller. You talk.
I don't sell shit. Dude.
Yeah, you do. You
Whatever.
sell Tommy
I
Buckmaster.
just
what
sell
you
me.
Sell myself.
I just sell myself.
That just sounded wrong, didn't it?
You've done a good job.
Hey, there's an IA coming.
Yeah. But
Yeah. Yeah.
find
Yeah,
your, find
that's
your
an inside
energy.
joke.
Yeah.
I'm a chi.
No, that's another joke. I'll tell you later.
Okay. Yeah.
Offline.
Yeah.
So
Is it about me?
no, it's
Oh.
about the person. Anyway,
So I started real estate, and started
because you talk good.
Started in real estate, because I talk well and I can sell, snow to Eskimos, and
wow.
Ketchup.
It
Ketchup to what?
it turned
To people wearing white or whatever it is. What's that girl? I don't know. Forget it. Sorry.
maybe tied to people that
People-
are wearing
Hey,
white ketchup.
is that a Gerba joke or what's
know.
going on here?
Yeah.
Maybe that's a
Unbelievable.
dad joke. We got the dad joke.
If you wear white, you got to sell ketchup.
No. You're selling ketchup to somebody wearing white. I don't know. It's something like, isn't that that's some kind of joke?
That's the first one I've heard, but
I don't know.
I'll look it up.
I love it.
Yeah.
What if
Ice
you,
to Eskimos. I
what
don't
about
know.
mayonnaise with white? Would that be
No,
okay?
because it's going to be white and white. Ketchup.
You're selling something that
See,
could
the
potentially
funny thing is-
stain to
Yes,
somebody
you're
that's
selling
somebody-
ketchup to
I
somebody
already knew
wearing
that,
white.
and now he's getting worked up
Yeah,
because
yeah.
I knew
Jesus,
mayonnaise was white.
God.
Well, it's a little off-white, actually.
Off-white.
I'm selling
Okay,
ketchup
sorry.
to somebody wearing
How about
cream.
mustard? Would
Yeah,
that work for
that
you?
would-
Selling ketchup to somebody wearing cream.
There you go.
Crimson. Okay, move on.
We've derailed.
Oh my
Grady.
gosh.
Sorry about
I
that.
know.
That's it.
So you've
Nothing's
done real
Nothing's
estate.
changed.
So
Nothing's
is the
changed.
real
No,
estate
nothing's changed.
Is
It's
the
the same.
real estate like in the area, like Marion County, or can
So
you say, or
yeah,
all
no, I mean,
over, or
look, I'll drive pretty
plug
much.
yourself, that's
no,
fine.
I'll go anywhere in the state.
Where,
but
what do you have? You have your own? Is it your own company?
well,
or?
no. So it's,
Who do you-
I hang my license at Premier Property Group.
Okay.
But I'm an independent agent.
Okay.
I don't have any other than my transaction coordinator that kind of does my paperwork. It's all
Right.
me. So
Cool.
I don't have teams. I
just kinda do your
I
own-
supervise people in the past. I don't need to supervise them now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I do probably 20, 25 homes a year.
That's good.
And so,
Yeah.
allows me to golf a lot, which is
Right.
You
good.
like golfing,
Right.
huh?
Yeah, I golf quite a bit. I think I
What's
golf,
your favorite place to golf?
Well, now up at Oregon Golf Club because that's where I'm at.
Okay.
So, yeah, so I golf up there with one of your in-laws.
Oh yeah, we can say it's Scott.
Okay.
He's got the
All right.
same first name.
Okay.
Shout out to Scott.
Yeah,
Hi,
shout
Scott.
out to Scott. Hey.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I enjoy that. I got about 135, 140 rounds in last year, and so
Jeez,
it's good. It's
Yeah.
it's against yourself, and you get to go hang out with a bunch of people. I've met
Yeah.
a ton of people, and so it's been good.
Yeah.
You sell a lot of houses on the golf course, don't you?
I just closed on one last Friday at
There you go.
$1.8 million
There
from
you
it.
go.
So yeah,
Nice.
so it's good. Yeah.
So I hear it's selling like a $1.8 million house. There's not a big commission in that, is there? Or is there not?
It's all
A lot of
commission-
staging
all
and stuff?
commissions are negotiable. That's
Yeah.
what I'll say.
Is it?
But yeah,
Do you
all
stage like?
commissions.
Is it a lot cost a lot of money to stage a house like that?
You're about 3,500 for about the first 60 days. Yeah. But like anything else, right? I mean, the government's going to take 50% of whatever you make.
Yeah.
So,
True.
Damn
but
government.
yeah, but if you work, you work hard, and I mean, I here's what I will tell you. I was fortunate enough my first year that I wouldn't have had to work for 2 years in law enforcement. So that kind of tells you,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, my wife has got benefits, so I don't have to worry about that. So it's gone well. Yeah, it's
Good.
gone well.
Now,
great.
are you taking your PERS now too?
I'm not taking PERS. No.
Oh,
Yeah,
good.
So no,
So
it
you still got
banks.
that
Just-
hanging out
Just
there.
let that
Just
thing
sit there.
cook. Yep,
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it for sure.
Good for you.
Yeah.
So I mean, there will be a time where but for me, I always have to be doing something.
Right.
So the nice thing about real estate is I can if I want clients and I get referrals, I'm pretty much just referral based only. So it's not
Yeah.
like I'm spending money on advertising, and so I get clients and help them out and move on.
Nice.
So
Excellent.
it's been good. Yeah, been
So
good.
you don't go do gym 10 or laundry.
I do not do the
Gym,
gym,
Jersey Shore, tan,
and
laundry. You don't know.
The last thing you want to see me is in a tanning booth. I could hardly fit.
I
And-
mean,
God.
it's a stand up.
Stop it.
You can stand
I can
up. That's
stand
what I
up,
do.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
stand up.
Or just
I'd
do
have
the
to move
spray
around.
tan.
The spray tan.
Yeah,
that's
that would
how
be
it
good.
is.
That would only be one trip, and
If
then
I walk into a gym, they just laugh. It's like,
Oh,
all right,
come
yeah.
on.
oh, stop it.
Yeah. But,
Stop it.
But
Come in with me.
Yeah.
I'll go with you.
Yeah.
Lift
You
a
get
little
in
bit
as a
more.
guest with
With a guest.
Yeah, get
Yeah,
the
I can
black
bring a
card
guest in
working.
for free. I'm a black card member
Bring a fat friend
the,
to work day.
Jesus. Stop it.
at the PF.
There you go.
I'm sure there's much bigger people there at the PF than you, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, there's
but
some
it's good. Yeah. It's so. That's about it. I mean, Fortunately, so my son's finally in college. He's playing lacrosse, so I
Yeah.
get to,
Oh, cool.
we get to go down to California and
You
watch him play. And
Yeah, I miss it when my son went to college play.
yeah,
Well, I think we got to go see like 3 games down
Yeah.
there. He went to
over
Wisconsin.
okay.
We
Yeah.
had to fly into Chicago and then drive an hour to watch him play.
Well, it's funny because he did all of his recruiting with my wife on the East Coast in the summer times. So they spent tens of thousands of dollars recruiting over there in lacrosse.
Yeah.
That's all he did. And he's down in California in San Diego, and they drive up, and he says, "Hey, let's go try this college out." And they pop in there, and he's like, "Hey, I kind of like this." Kids hated the beach since day one, and he's 15 minutes from Huntington Beach.
Yeah.
And he
Wow.
surfs now all the time down there, and so
So he loves the beach now.
He loves the beach, yeah.
Good.
And he plays D2 lacrosse for college down there. So
Very cool.
yeah, so we get to go
Very
watch
cool.
that. So
Yeah,
that's
it's cool.
you know,
Close,
that's-
at least. Yeah.
It's
Do they-
super. So it's 29. Yeah, it's $129 round trip.
Yeah,
Southwest
we had to go
Airlines
off-
versus
Oh.
$400.
We had to
and
go
you
to the
gotta plan
cold.
2
You drive
days.
all the
Right,
way
yeah.
down there,
Yeah,
rent a
yeah,
car, drive for an hour.
Oh yeah,
and
never.
Oh, my
never.
Chicago,
Could you
always driving
imagine?
it.
Oh,
My wife said, "Why are you flipping that guy off in Chicago, downtown Chicago?
Yeah.
Because he just cut me off,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
fucker."
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Exactly.
downtown
You
Chicago.
know you don't have a gun. I don't fucking
Yeah.
care.
I'm going to shoot with my
That's why
finger
I'm so
gun.
angry all the time. That's
Down,
when I was
down
really
in
angry.
Irvine, you just unplug their Teslas and call it good.
Fucking
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
I hated Chicago.
Oh, man. So angry.
Yeah. I was always angry back then.
Back then,
Well, I'm not so angry now. I'm better
No.
now.
He's a lot better now.
much better.
I'm much,
Well, he's
I'm much-
retired.
Much,
Yeah.
calmer now.
You are. Well, you weren't.
A little
Yeah,
bit.
but you now we were all kind of hardwired different.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a different
different
time.
generation.
Totally different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you got a bunch of Anyways.
Yeah, but we still need them.
Yeah. Well.
Well, I mean, kind of.
yes.
It's good to have them.
It's good to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Oh yeah, absolutely.
We need
yes.
them. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
There's still a lot of great people in law enforcement, even some of the new people.
Yeah.
Some of the new people.
Some of them.
They're all great people.
Yeah, they
Look
are.
at they're doing this job for sure.
Yeah.
Oh God,
I mean,
yeah.
that's just
I mean,
it.
how?
Most.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
I
gotta-
laugh now because seriously, like I don't understand how people like we put up with a lot of shit, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We saw stuff that would it's terrible to what we've seen, but now you look at these kids and you're like, seriously, and you're scrutinized and you can't ask people questions.
Yeah.
Oh,
you can't
yeah.
do this, and you're like, that's how we did that's
Yeah.
how we took people off the streets.
Yeah.
So
Well, and you have people, and sometimes there's a lot of, it's a lot more sensitive too. I'm not saying everybody, but there were times where people tease people or call people names,
Oh,
or
yeah.
they'd overhear people be walking by an area and like we're talking,
yeah,
and we say something and it's offensive to some other officer.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, how can you go out on the street
and not
and
be
deal with
offended.
it and not be offended?
Yeah.
Like
Grow some
you're
skin.
offended by your own coworkers. You know, it's cool. Like, hey, I wish you wouldn't say that around me. Okay, well, that's
Not a
fine.
problem.
That's
Yeah.
fine. I could do that, right? But instead
we
of
go tattle and
yelling or tattling,
Yeah.
or there's been
Reporting.
worse, and we'll leave it at
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
but
yeah,
there's
yeah.
been worse
Oh, yeah,
at
yeah.
other offices too that I've heard stories about. I'm just like, wow,
yeah.
how can you even go out in the street and deal with people that are going to call you names?
They're going to call you
And
a
I-
name
I
to
mean-
your face.
yeah, or
And
they
I remember-
or they want to hurt you.
And I remember locker room talks.
Oh my god,
at
I
the
remember
sheriff's
one.
office.
Remember leaving your
I
MDT
remember-
open and
I
somebody
can
grab your
still
send an
picture
email
one
to everybody?
with you in the locker room. We were talking about stuff, and I'll tell you offline because
Yeah,
it's not
yeah, yeah.
appropriate for even for this podcast. But
Yeah.
but yeah, I just remember a story, and it was just funny. I always remember it.
Yeah. I remember
You know?
telling people, I mean, I remember like, fix your shit or we're going to stuff you in a locker and, grow up like
Yeah.
this. And you do that now. And
Oh, you can't do that now.
you'd be,
Oh, yeah.
Walmart.
People used to get stuffed in lockers.
Yeah.
You could say it around the right people. You could
can.
still say it around
But
the
you
right
gotta be
people.
careful.
But be careful who's in there.
Yes, that's just it.
Right.
Before,
Who's
it was
else
just
is
like, hey,
listening?
what are they doing? Up, they're just taking care of business and moving on. And now,
Yeah.
now you can't. Yeah. Yeah.
No.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
But
it
it's a great
sucks, but
profession and we need them all.
yeah,
for sure.
it's still a very noble profession, right?
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
What kind of advice would you give somebody that's looking to get into this, and or somebody that's almost close to retirement, like Gerba?
Gerba. Jeez, he should be retired. Gerba, you need to retire.
Gerba, you need to
got
shave your
hired-
legs.
He got hired young,
yeah.
23. So
I think, I heard Mark, I heard a few of those guys kind of give it. And I
Yeah.
think that, I think faith has a lot to do for a lot of people.
Oh, for
but I
sure.
will tell you that, the friend piece, the keeping friends that aren't necessarily in law enforcement
that is a very common theme that people are saying.
is a
Yeah.
good
Yep.
balance. And I think I mean, look, I had a lot of you guys. I had Dustin. Gresham friends. I had cousins
Yeah.
and families where that's all we talk about. And it really wasn't until kind of unplugging from that. And I know Mark talked about it too. It's like I forget who it was that talked about it, was you start having conversations with people and you look around and people's mouths are just like, they can't, even with my wife, sometimes I don't have a filter. And I'll start talking to my son. I'm like, oh, this time, I found some old photos trying to find these. I found some old photos of, a massive crash and somebody's head got cut off. And I'm telling my son, and he's just like, holy smokes. And it's like, oh, what are you talking about? So I would say that.
Because it was like second nature.
Yeah, it
you
was.
Hate
so
saying
many
that,
times. It was. Shooting we were involved in at Forest Grove and just a lot of that stuff. And so I think that the biggest piece that I would tell people is you have to have fair balance. You have to have balance. And more importantly is my daughter and I don't have the relationship that my son and I have now because I dedicated so much time and effort to this profession.
Yeah.
And so those that are young, that are in families or go to have families, I would say they really need to sit down and just share enough. I think you had even said share enough that you let them kind of know what's going on, but have that balance.
Let them in a little way so they don't see all the crazy stuff, but at least to know that there is some kind of potentially crazy stuff out there.
Yeah, I think the biggest, because you do. You get into this thing where all of a sudden you're balls deep in this and you're like, where's the last 10 years gone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gone to a single Christmas. I haven't done a single Thanksgiving. This is all I do is I work. I can't turn myself off and so forth. And so that's the biggest piece. You got to have that work-life balance. And unfortunately, we don't teach a lot of it in the academy.
No.
We don't.
No,
we teach it all about mental health and other people.
Some of that stuff's starting to creep in, but it's
taking
the
guys
beginning
like
stages.
us. It's taking officers that have retired that are like, holy shit,
you really need to do this.
We need to
these guys that are.
You need to do something to help us.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that were law enforcement now.
now.
There's like, I can say her name, Stephanie Kahn, that used to, right?
Yeah.
She's the one that has a local place, and she used to be a cop, and now she helps with mental health stuff.
Yes.
And she's very good.
Yeah.
And I heard her speak Tom and I heard her speak at Grand Ron.
Yeah.
Wasn't that year? And then I got
whatever.
her book, and it's a good book,
Yeah.
So there's people like that can go in and start talking about that stuff, but
and
because they had that first-hand experience.
Well, and I'm still learning to this day. I'm retired since 17, right? 8 years.
Yeah.
And I'm still learning that, I missed a lot of this stuff. And the more kind of a family unit that I have with some of these others, it's like, I see photos and I'm like, Dad wasn't there, or I wasn't there for my buddy. For retiring guys, I would say, you got to keep it going. You got to keep it going.
The schedules are tough, but you can find a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had, we just lost a Gresham. Pat died. He just died of a heart attack. He was out on a bike trail.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And
I just heard that.
And
was this a retired person?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was on whatchamacallit trail.
Yeah.
I just heard it from Ron.
Yep.
Yeah. Last night, Ron Richards told me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So Pat Williams just passed away, and he was a Gresham and Portland and TriMet and so forth. But a lot of these guys. You look at. Some of these guys just die when they, because there's not a lot for cops to do when they retire.
Yeah.
Because they're so used to that hard charging, shitty sleep, shitty appetites, stress high, and then they stop. And it's like, what? So find something to occupy your time. You guys, right? Find something to keep that fire going, and then try to re-engage yourself.
Well, and I'm glad we're doing this. I love doing this with Tom, but we also had other things that we were going to do.
Yeah.
Like, like you're saying, you have to know, what am I going to do when I retire? What hobbies do I have?
Start planning that, though, 10 years into your profession.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Don't do it. Don't do it when you're starting to count the per clock.
Of course,
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
And that's like, for me, it's fortunate. I've enjoyed it because I have the ability to be able to still talk to people and go to people's houses and and do all of this stuff. Where if I was just sitting at home, if I didn't have golf, I'd be like, what the hell am I going to do? So
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Keep doing what you guys are doing, man. I tell you, it's been awesome.
Yeah.
We love it.
This
is fun.
It's good.
It's fun for me.
Right? It's good.
But Wednesdays, I hate Wednesdays though. It's very busy for me here.
Well,
sometimes I can't get my
Tom
gym
doesn't like to
tan.
be busy.
I can't get my gym and tanning in.
Oh my god.
Well, it's fun. It's good. It's good to see people too, because like I saw Luca and when you guys did that one, and the first thing I thought about last time I saw him, we were in a riot at Wichita Pub in Tualatin that my now current wife started. And so
she started the riot.
She started the riot. She was a bar. Yeah, I know we got to go, but she cut somebody off. Kurt Tarkelson.
Kurt.
No, listen, yeah. So
I should get
flight
him in there.
attendant Kurt.
Flight attendant Kurt Tarkelson.
So I was there. She was. I had a condo that was there. And
she cut him off from drinking.
She was a bartender.
Okay.
And she cut.
Cut him off.
She cut this person off, and he and the girl found it offensive or something, and all of a sudden this fight starts. The DJ gets stabbed. There's
Oh,
people
my.
getting
What was the
beat-
bar again?
Wichita. Now it's
Wichita,
no longer there
yeah.
because now it's like a Japanese restaurant.
Yeah.
But I was
Oh,
laughing
makes
because
sense.
that's the last time I'd really seen him.
Oh my.
And so at the so I just remember coming out and they are we're fighting and they call and said, but they called unfortunately and said there was a cop that was involved in a fight, but I was off duty. And I'm just trying to separate and get this guy out of there, and I end up body slamming one of the guys on one of the Sherwood or one of the Tualatin police cars, and everybody's showing up, and Tarkelson showed. Oh my god, dude, it was crazy. But I laugh because you get to see guys, and it's like, oh shit, I remember this, or I remember that, or hearing stories.
That'll trigger a memory.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's good. Keep doing this, man.
Yeah.
Just get more views. Keep it up.
yeah.
Keep
Oh
it
yeah,
trying.
we got
Like
lots
and
of
subscribe.
great people lined up. I can't wait for some of these people to come
it's
in.
gonna be awesome.
And lots more in my head who I want to invite.
yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
this
got
will
a lot
turn
of
into a good
people
thing.
trying to get
yeah.
everybody.
That's it.
It's just
And
That's
and
right.
it'll trigger, right? Like we talk about Dustin, right? All of
Yeah.
a sudden it's like, oh, I
asked him and then I forgot.
Yeah, and you forget.
Yeah,
So
we gotta
it
line him up.
It triggers a lot of this.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
I love it. I love it.
Good times.
Cool. Well, hey, anything else from
No,
you?
man, this
Well,
is.
we're so glad you came out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
thanks.
good to
This is
see you
great.
too.
Thanks for the invite. I know.
Yeah.
It's like, I
good to
mean,
catch up.
It's been a long time.
living a little ways away from here and being able to see,
know.
it's good to see you guys, but actually talk to you and see in person, it makes it even better.
Oh, absolutely. Agreed.
So it's
Yeah.
good. Just keep this up. Don't even if it slows up, just keep trucking
Oh,
because
no,
a lot of us like
we'll
to
keep
talk
going.
about it and,
Oh,
and
yeah.
it re-stems a lot of the relationships and so forth. So
Agreed.
it's
Agreed.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
with that
follow,
too.
and listen.
Follow, subscribe, listen.
Exactly.
Yes. Well, thank you very
Good.
much, Grady,
Thanks,
for
guys.
coming out.
Grady.
Absolutely.
Appreciate
Thank you,
it.
guys.
All right.
Appreciate it. Yep.
Yeah, shout out to Robbie.
Robbie over
Thanks,
there.
Robbie.
Thank you.
Thanks to Tall Fur Coffee. Thanks,
Yep.
Scott,
Tall
for
Fur.
hooking us up with our
Bam.
sponsor. All right. We'll see you next
See you guys.
Tuesday. You can stay in. Well, you know what to do. All right.
Apparently, it's
yeah.
14 days away for him.
Yeah, because he talks well to
We have
people
one come
also.
out- we have one come out every Tuesday, but we're not going to record every week because I'm going to OKC. I leave tomorrow morning for a big motorcycle trip. All right.
So I got next week off.
Wow.
So
look
we're
at
There you
on.
go.
So we're not recording for a couple of weeks, but we got them.
We got them
still be
all
coming
lined
out.
up. Still be
Still
coming
coming
out.
out. Don't worry.
Yeah,
Every
we'll still
Tuesday.
be here.
Stay
You'll see
tuned.
us.
Stay tuned. All right.
All
We'll
right.
see you. 222.
See ya.
Peace.
Bye.